back in the Ford Focus ST, and I'm here with Steve, who, when did we go and collect this car?
March the 10th.
So March the 10th I went with Steve to collect this brand new Ford Focus ST3, and since you've done quite a bit with it because you've driven it up Shelsley Walsh Hill,
yeah, very
bravely. You may have seen the video for that, which was pretty good, wasn't it? And it was pretty fast.
Yeah, it handled itself well.
And it made some good noises from the exhaust as well, which was also pretty good.
For a diesel.
Yeah, it was. Considering it's a diesel, it was not only quick, but we got some good noises out of it. So you've done 12,000 miles in it, and what we're going to do is have a look at the car and see now where you're at with it, what you think of it, what you like and what you don't like. Think of 5 things that you like about this car. Yeah.
Well, I like the way it looks.
Okay.
A lot.
Right.
I think it really does fit the bill, which is odd when you go for a free paint colour, which is what this was. You know, I didn't pay extra for this paint. This was the standard paint that the car came with.
Right.
But I spec'd it with the bigger wheels.
Okay.
The silver wheels, which again is quite a rare choice. You don't really see many with this colour and wheel combination. Okay. Because most people tend to go for the black wheels, but I wanted something that was a bit more sophisticated.
Okay.
In inverted commas.
Yeah. Right.
So, I think it does fit the bill. Whenever I see it in window reflections or anything, I look at it and I think, yeah, it's a good looking car. It looks good.
It does, and with that spoiler on the back, I noticed that when we were doing the Shelsley Walsh video, it does look
pretty.
Yeah.
So you just got to keep it clean. And that's another thing I like, is actually that the grey doesn't get dirty very easily. It actually stays clean.
So the paint colour, helps keep it looking pretty clean.
Yeah. I like the economy.
Okay.
You know, averaging between 45 and 50 mpg.
Okay.
On a commute, which.
Right. Does it have a sport mode? Has it got like a sport mode?
It's got a traction mode. So if you press it once, then it goes into sports mode. But it doesn't really do anything. All that is the traction control.
Right.
So when it's called sports mode, it just backs off the traction control ever so slightly.
Right. Okay.
But then you can press and hold it for 10 seconds, and then it turns the whole system off. Oh, so it's like a 2-stage traction control, really.
Okay.
I like the way it handles.
Okay.
Very much. You know, it always feels planted. You never feel like it's running away from you. As I took it up the hill, you know, there was never any.
So when you took it on Shelsley Walsh, I mean, that was a good test.
Yeah, it was brilliant test, but there was never any butt clenching moments.
No,
it just held its own, and it does handle the bends and the bumps really well. I mean, you're a passenger.
Yes,
it's comfortable enough.
Yeah, totally.
You know, we're not on really smooth roads, are we?
Yeah, no, exactly.
You know, people who buy this car, i.e. the Focus ST diesel, want a sporty car that's cheap to run.
Yes.
And this is. £20 a year road tax.
Yeah. Wow.
Because I got this before the new tax laws in April.
Wow.
£20 a year. The gearboxes are renowned. The manual transmissions, at least, are renowned as some of the best in the business.
This is
it's perfectly.
Yeah, that's really is. Yes,
very slim.
It does look really good.
It is
real quick.
It's very short.
Box.
It's very short shift. It's very quick. It's very smooth. Can be a little notchy. Apart from where it just needs to warm up.
Okay.
But I wish I'd got a power shift automatic transmission.
When you say power shift, is power shift paddle shift?
Power shift is Ford's name for its automatic transmission. The petrol one, stick with the manual.
Right.
But in this car, with the diesel engine, why? Now that's a very good question.
Yeah, why?
I do a lot of commuting, so I would find an automatic gearbox more relaxing, entertaining,
Right.
You know, I just find it more useful on a commute. But also, in this diesel engine, I feel it would hold the power a lot better.
When I went for the Lotus with the paddle shift, I was going, no, you should have got the manual one because it's a more involving drive.
Yeah.
However, that said, what most people didn't realise, and you're about to allude to the same thing, it's much easier to get the car in the right gear at the right time.
Yeah.
But not only that, with the Lotus, it was faster, 0 to 60, and more efficient.
Because I don't
Things you don't like about it.
Right.
First big thing that you don't like is
Quality.
quality.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I've had 5 Fords.
Yes.
5 Fords in 6 years. So
Okay. Nearly one a year.
Yeah, nearly
right?
one a year.
You're as bad as me.
Yeah.
Cars.
And my first one was a 2005 plate.
Right.
So,
Okay.
I mean, compared to this is a Rolls Royce.
Right.
You know, so
Right.
the quality has improved massively.
Yes, massively. Okay.
But
So what's the problem with the quality now?
little things. For instance, squeaky clutch pedal.
Right.
You know,
Oh,
that's
okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Every time I change gear,
It
the clutch
squeaks.
pedal squeaks. You know, the squeaky side bolster. Every time I go over a bump, the side bolster of the seat creaks.
See, this is interesting. Okay.
It's little
Right.
things like there's the odd rattle from the dash. You know, because
Yeah.
it's nice plastic, but it is still hard plastic.
But this material that they've got on the main dash here is like the
Soft touch.
soft touch.
Yeah.
It's still quite good.
Yeah, that's nice, but it's these harder plastics here where they join the softer plastics. That you get the odd rattle from them. It's a bit cheap feeling. For instance, if you put your right leg how your left leg is, so move them up a bit,
right.
and then you go and open the glove box there, John.
Oh, right, okay.
Can't open the glove box.
Right.
It has enough power to keep me happy. I just wish there was a bit more. So other
Yeah,
things I dislike then.
else? Right.
I hate the windscreen wipers.
Why?
I do not.
God, look at that. This is
When it's raining, the windscreen wipers don't reach the edge of the glass.
right.
So you've got this huge, great big pillar here,
Yes.
and then you've got 3 inches of water
Right.
before the windscreen starts to get clear, and it
Right.
creates a huge blind spot on both sides of the windscreen.
Right.
Another thing I don't like about them, because they're so big, the wipers are so big, the irony being, now the windscreen's dry, they're not doing it, but when the windscreen's wet, the bottoms of them judder and move
really?
about all over the place, especially when you're going at speed.
Really?
Yeah.
Caused by the...
Just the size of them. They're because they're so big, and the drag that they have
They
to...
are big, aren't they?
have to
They are
yeah.
really big, I have to say.
And then they obviously, like all wipers, they don't reach the bottoms of the windscreen,
Right.
but they go way over the top. So they're about 3 inches above the top of the windscreen.
Get that? Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
if I stick it out of the way here,
Yep.
then we can. Let's say stick it out of the way. See that there?
What's that?
That's the boot light. Okay.
Oh, that's the boot light. Yeah. Okay.
And if we look on the other side, what's
Yeah.
there? A hole where the boot light should be.
No, surely not.
Apparently, when this car first came out in 2015 or so, they used to put 2 boot lights in, but to save money, they're only putting 1 in now. A bit of a design flaw.
A bit of a design flaw with the boot.
So, because the parcel shelf is rigid, it's cardboard,
Yeah.
getting it out can be less than straightforward, because you can't get it out without, and you can't tilt it down because it catches on the. You have to really kind
So you've got to sort of twist
angle
it out.
and then you're left with this great big.
Right.
Where'd you put it?
Right.
You know, you either have to leave it at home
Oh, right.
or stack it on top of something. And I feel they could have designed that better to go at least maybe under the floor.
Yes.
You know, there could have been a
right.
storage compartment for it, but yeah, I don't like that.
And then you had a point about folding down the back seats, because the journalists say they don't fold flat,
The journalists
but you
are
say
lying.
they do.
The journalists are lying. But it's a bit of a palaver in itself. Now, on first glance, the way to fold down the seats is push this button up here.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you can see that, but there's a button on top.
Yeah.
And they just fold down.
Yeah.
Now, you can see the problem.
Yeah.
So you get round that by folding the headrests down, fair enough. And as the journalists rightly say, they don't fold flat.
Right, okay.
However, what you can also do is reach behind, fold out the squab to get round it, take the headrest out.
And there they do fold totally flat, look at that.
And that slots in there. The sat-nav system, I quite like it. It's nowhere near as good as a TomTom system.
Right.
But as an inbuilt system, I like it. The graphics are crisp. You know, it took us all the way to Holland without many issues.
Well, flipping out.
Did try to take us down a one-way street, which was one of the issues. And the other issue was a month after I had the car, I was heading down to Cardiff, and the whole system froze.
Oh, right, okay.
It just completely stopped as we were going down the motorway. The little red arrow there just completely stopped.
Oh, right, okay.
And the whole system froze, wouldn't let me do anything. And it stayed like that until the next day when I turned the car on, and then it rebooted itself.
Right, okay. Wow, so it was off for that amount of time?
It was off for the entire rest of the journey. Wouldn't let me do anything until I turned the car off, turned it back on again the next day, and then it was fine.
Right.
But that was a month after I bought the car, and it hasn't happened since. When your phone is plugged in, as mine is, into the glove box, it uses your internet data, and it's only a small amount. It's about 1 megabyte an hour, so it's a very, very small amount.
Okay.
But it uses your internet to update the traffic on your inbuilt sat-nav.
Oh, great.
So
okay.
It doesn't use normal radio frequency, so it I think the standard one updates every half an hour, which is obviously rubbish for traffic, because traffic changes so quickly. But
with that,
when it's plugged in, it updates a lot more frequently and is a lot more accurate.
And you get far more accurate. So how does the ST then, the Fiesta ST, fun-wise, compare to this Focus ST?
This doesn't hold a candle to it, in my opinion.
In terms of fun?
Yeah. In my opinion, this is not a boring car. It's not a bad handling car. It's a great car to drive, but the Fiesta actively used to make me laugh. You know, it would put a smile on my face whenever I wanted it to. Right. And it was a great sense of theatre with it, with the noise and the power. And, you know, just everything. Whereas
that's interesting.
There's nothing wrong with this, but it doesn't.
Is it because it's not as?
It doesn't make it doesn't make the noises. It doesn't excite me as the Fiesta did.
Right. I had a very similar experience when I went from a Lotus to a Porsche.
Yeah.
Very similar from when I went from the Lotus Lotus Exige to the Porsche Cayman.
Yeah.
And that's why I ended up selling the Porsche Cayman so quickly, because it didn't have the sense of fun, and I think it comes from the rawness.
Yeah, and the noise and the vibrations and the buzz.
You feel there's far more feel of the road. There's far more feedback. So that was what the ST was like. Fiesta was
and
like.
I have no doubt that is purely because this is a diesel. And I think any car driver will agree with that. That you know, you lose a sense of the thrill.
Punch,
with it being a diesel. It's a fantastic diesel. You know, it's a fantastic engine. It pulls like a train. There's nothing wrong with the power whatsoever, but it just doesn't have that. You can't really put your finger on it.
Right.
It's, as James May says, it's the fizz.
The fizz, absolutely. I was just about to say that. It's that buzz you get.
And the Fiesta did that for me.
Right.
And it does that for a lot of people, because it's it's widely rated as the best hot hatch out there.
Maybe you should try a Focus RS.
Well, that'd certainly put the fizz in, but it would also put a big hole in the bank balance.
Yeah. Well, I know you're actually driving it at the moment, but
the thing is though, John, I don't actually know where I'm going. I've been driving.
No. Oh, right.